So, how do you know when to start and when to take the time to figure out your destination before you start? That is kind of the issue I have been navigating really for like 6 months, but it kind of has come up again the last few days. And I heard a really great talk from Rob Drydeck. He has a YouTube channel. He's an ex skater who has become a really good business person. And he was talking about that. He has a video where he talks about that, which you don't hear as much. Most of the online entrepreneurship kind of, in a way, is sort of toxic positivity, or it kind of can be that taken kind of, inappropriately, I guess. It's like, just go, just do it. But he actually talked about the value of taking time to get clear on where you're going and what you need to know to get there, and having a plan, taking time to really create the plan, and the benefit of that playing out as speed and fun once you do get going. So it's not necessarily losing time, you're just spending it differently up front. And I said I've kind of been like going back and forth between the clarity of starting to take action, which I think is important, and things do become clearer as you start to take action, but also not feeling as clear as I want to be about the direction that I'm heading in, what I really want to include in this next phase of my existence, my time interacting with people on the planet, my time serving people and doing the things I like to do with my unique vision. And so it was actually nice to find somebody who I have been following on and off for a long time, who's doing something really similar to what I want to be doing, maybe not at his scale, but a similar product-based multi-venture oversight model. And yeah, kind of hear that it's okay to take a minute to get clear, so then you can be speedy when you launch. And so that has been what I've been really pushing the last few days. I feel like I know what I want, but it's also been a little fuzzy. Like, not that I'm trying to describe it, trying to pull the feeling of what I want out into something that I can write down. And it's funny, I think, if you ever watch Say Yes to the Dress, there are certain, brides shopping for their dresses who just kind of, they don't really know what they want, but they know whether or not what they want is on their body. And I don't feel completely lost, but I do feel a little bit of that, where it's like, I know it when I see it, I know it when I feel it, but I can't quite message around it yet. And so I am kind of landing in a midpoint, at least for now, because I do need to move forward. Time seems like it's passing so quickly, but I also need to know that I'm going in a direction that actually I'm not going to feel like I wasted energy going the wrong way. And so I am working on, or have been working on, at least carving out the things I know. The things I know that I want, the things I know that I want to be part of this next phase of my life, and the things that I don't, or ways that I don't want those to show up. And then at least I can start to make decisions on what content I consume, how I'm focusing each week, how I am moving things forward, even if I don't know the exact details of the journey. I do know key chunks. And one of those is this podcast. I mean, it's definitely, a question of, is this I definitely will be doing something March 3rd, but is the podcast where I want to spend energy and time. And yes, that is something that I, really just kind of threw everything on the table as, as a recheck to say, okay, is this it? And I do like kind of being able to have this daily conversation, daily ability to share ideas, daily brain dump out of my head so I can think about the next thing. And I want to dedicate the time and the effort to building this into one of the foundations of our connection, our story, or my story, for me to serve and sell and enhance for you guys, the audience that I will be finding, and making sure that I am providing what you might be looking for. But yeah, it's a balance. And if you're feeling kind of torn of like, yes, I want to move forward, but I don't really know which direction I'm going, and I'm not ready to jump in a Ferrari and head out yet, it's okay. I think it's very easy to do nothing. So I would encourage you, just like this 28 Days of Just Chalk challenge is a great way to start momentum. But if you feel like you're heading in the wrong direction, okay, use these last few days to talk it out. Which direction is, like, what's right about your direction? What is wrong about your direction? What's uncertain? What's kind of a maybe about your direction? And let's go from there. Once we know our direction, at least, big chunks of it, then you can kind of do the next step, which is figuring out what do you need to learn, what do you already know. So if you're somebody like me who sort of can escape into learning rather than action, as you feel like you're getting stuff done, but you're not necessarily moving forward. So really kind of evaluating, what do you already know? Like, what is done you just need to do, and where are the areas that you can improve, and how much of a deep dive do you need to take? What can you learn along the way? And like, what areas maybe you don't know at all, and maybe what areas maybe do you not need to know, or you just don't need to know now. Stephen J. Larson calls it just-in-time learning. And I like that idea. I'm not good at it, but kind of the idea of focusing on the knowledge you need as you need it, rather than preparing everything ahead of time. And, so again, what do you need to know now? So for me, again, with knowing that the podcast is something that I do want to integrate into the longer vision, I need to know the tech. I'm doing this on my phone. I do have some other pieces of tech that I can use, but in the spirit of the 28-day Just Talk challenge, and knowing tech slows me down, or a lot of times stops me. I just we're going very rough, very old school. But I do need to figure out at least a workable tech system. I definitely need to figure out the sound. I'm sure the sound is horrible. I need to, do a little more work on titles, on descriptions, keywords, those kind of things. So discoverability. And eventually, I really need to start digging into what the people I am trying to get really specific on, who I'm trying to reach, what their problems are, how they would state their problems, how you guys would describe your concerns, your frustrations, your seekings, your quests that you're not finding answers to, and making sure I'm speaking those back to you in a way that you feel heard and called forth, and making sure I'm offering solutions. Even if it's not through me, that I'm offering you resources, I'm pointing you in good directions. But yeah, so that's, I guess, the energy that I've had the last few days. More, it's kind of come back, really getting, for me, to really kind of make sure that I'm efforting in the direction that I want to be, and I'm not going to regret not doing something. And kind of is the message I'm sharing out into the world, that, I don't know, I guess it's okay if you need to move a little slower, at times, and not just hustle, hustle, hustle. And again, we have 5 more days of this. 4, I think, actually. No, not even 3. But anyway, however many more days we have, if you're not sure, I encourage you to use this time to use your podcast to kind of spitball out ideas into the universe. See what feels good. See what rolls off the tongue. See what you stumble on. And that kind of is a nice, you have momentum. You're fulfilling your commitment to yourself. You're saying it out, so it's out of your head. You kind of can process it more in the air. But also, if at the end of the 28 days you say, you know what, I need to change, I need to go a different way, okay. I would encourage you to keep moving because there's clarity in movement. But maybe it's okay if you're kind of just taking a light stroll until you say, oh, okay, until you lock in, until you know at least enough of where the destination that you can feel good about taking those next big steps. All right, I will see you tomorrow. I'm Brenna. I'm the March Nerd. Sleep well.